Hi, everybody. This is the good part. Okay. That was such a good Wayne verse. Love you guys. Hello. Good to see you all. I am Mambo. I am here for the weekly energy reading. I am the founder and facilitator of the Charm School Mentorship Program. I'm the Coven Mother of Vision of Dawn Tour. I am your weekly reader, and I'm a dope bitch straight up out of Oakland. I am glad to be here this Sunday. We made it through another week. Thank God. Thank Bonjay. Thank the ancestors. I'm here to give you your reading. If this is your first time tuning in to Weekly Energy, now known as Weekly Wisdom, trying to get used to that name. I forget to say it a lot, but Weekly Energy, now Weekly Wisdom. This is just a weekly offering I give to the community, giving you a little bit of insight into what you should be aware of for the week ahead. I do take personal questions after I'm done with the general reading. If this is your first time here and you came because I posted in a group, welcome, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. I will take questions. My only request is that you be patient with me. Let me get through the general reading, which is about 3 to 4 different spreads. And then once I'm done with that, I will, I'll take questions from the audience. Oh, Mama Rare, I need to call you. I thought about you all day yesterday. And the only reason why I didn't text you is because I was falling in and out of sleep. But I hope you're good. I need to hear your voice soon. So we should talk soon. Hello, Labalyn. Hello, Tamika. Hello, Tiffany. Hello to any and everyone else that is trickling into the room. Again, if this is your first time here, you may see that people are putting up the scale emojis in the chat. Those are really helpful for me. They're aligned with the energy of my name. They're aligned with the energy of one of the spirits I work with. So please hit those scales as you come into the room. Give me a little bit of support. I appreciate you tremendously. Hello, Org Diva Mommy. Hello, Sinidra. Hello, Bertal. We'll go ahead and jump right on into it. Go ahead and get started so that we're not here for too long tonight. I am starting a little later than normal. I want to be mindful of everyone's time. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Let's look at the general. Oh, let me do my Apollo first. That's why I was wasting time. I knew something was wrong. Not wrong, but I knew I didn't do something. I'm a Taurus. I'm very much a Taurus. I'm about my vibe. And if I don't burn a little bit of Apollo before I do these readings, it don't feel right for me for some reason. So just give me 1 second. Oh my God. And then I have the Dragon's Blood. Has anyone else tried the Dragon's Blood covered Apollo? I feel like there's no in between. Regular Apollo takes forever to light and it don't stay lit. And then the Dragon's Blood one just burns super, super quick. So love them both, but all right, we'll go ahead and get on into it. So let's see what lies ahead of us for this week. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits, walk with me, elevated ancestors. What wisdom do we as a collective need as we head into the week of May 5th through the 12th? What needs to be revealed about the nature of the obstacles, lessons, blessings, challenges, and breakthroughs we will encounter over the next 7 days? Who do we need to be and what do we need to see about ourselves, our environment, and our habits so that we can make the best decisions over the next 7 days? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Okay. So 2 cards fell out, and not typically, but sometimes I'll wait to pull the spread before I read the jump cards, but I'm gonna go ahead and read the jump cards first. 9 of Swords and 4 of Swords. You are anxious because you are not sleeping. The only reason why you're worried about the past, the only reason why you're reliving mistakes, the only reason why you are hyper fixated on what may or may not be going right, And I'm saying may or may because, again, it's Nine of Swords. It's your fear about the past. This may not even be shit that's real. It may not even be something that's likely to happen again, right? But the only reason why you're concerned about it is you're not resting. You're not taking care of yourself. Whatever that battle was that you survived and got through, you have not recuperated, rejuvenated, regenerated after it, right? So if you find yourself in a space where you are hyperfixating on something from the past, and here's the thing, it's Nine of Swords, so it's something that happened. It's not like with the Eight of Swords where you're just panicking for no reason and you got to be careful so that you don't make it real. This shit really happened, but it's not of immediate threat to you. It's like whatever dissatisfaction you have about it is causing you to lose sleep. And your spirits are letting you know the only reason why you have this anxiety, this fear, this worry, the only reason why you can't move forward is because you're not taking care of yourself, right? Four of Swords, rest after battle. Rest so you don't meet the final sleep, right? So you have to give yourself a fresh start. You have to let your body, your mind, your soul get the rest from this issue that it needs. So the general message here is that a lot of us are spinning our wheels over something that we survived. We did not die. It's not the end of the world. But because of the way that it happens, we have a lot of dissatisfaction with it. Don't let that dissatisfaction make you lose sleep. Because here's the thing. Yes, you got through whatever the last battle was, but there's another battle ahead of you. And if you spend time kicking yourself because you don't like the way you won the last battle, you're not going to have the rest and the energy that you need to take on the challenges that are coming ahead of you. Spirit is telling me right now, when we talk about these challenges, they're not necessarily negative, the ones that are coming ahead of you. What's happening is that a lot of what this difficulty cleared the path for in terms of blessings for you to move forward, your responsibilities are about to increase. You need your peace. You need your tenacity. You need your vitality. So take good care of your body. Give yourself rest and peace. If you start to replay things from the past, really work on reprogramming what's going on in the theater of your mind so that you don't waste your energy, your precious life force, fixating on the past, because the blessings you asked for are coming in your immediate future. And if you don't have the vitality and the energy to be able to even show up for those blessings, what was the point of the fasting and the sacrifice and the constant prayer? What was the point of it, right? I love that the first card is the Knight of Swords, because the Knight of Swords is annoying. They're annoying, right? And they don't have to be annoying, but they can be. What do I mean by that? That student, that teacher's pet that knows everything and gets everything right can be a little bit annoying. What happens with the teacher's pet once they mature out of that Page of Swords energy is that you can't tell them nothing, right? They've gotten so many rewards, so many A's, they made the honor roll so many times that you can't tell them shit. So when you are on the outside looking in and you're trying to warn them like, hey, you need to slow down, you're moving a little too fast, you're not considering X, Y, and Z, they can get really arrogant, right? And then they will literally run over you, right? Knight of Swords is so smart and so intelligent that they don't think that they need to listen to anybody else. That's what I mean by this energy is annoying. There's a really particular way that even with all their skill and their training, they can fuck up something because they don't want to take advice. Be careful about that energy this week, okay? You have all the training, you have all the knowledge, you have all the tools at your disposal to get what you want. But if you are so arrogant, if you are so laser focused and tunnel vision that you think you're too good to hear from anybody, to hear any feedback, right? We can learn from a baby, right? But the Knight of Swords is like, no, I got this. Just let me run into some shit. And then the first thing that they do is they either run over something important or they run into a ditch, right? They hurt themselves. Be very careful about being the know-it-all this week, right? And here's the thing. It's not like this tendency towards being a know-it-all is coming from nowhere. A lot of you all, it's coming from a lack of confidence and a lack of resources. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. Some of you have fought so hard to have the little bit that you have right now in this moment that there is a severe fear that people are not giving you wisdom from a good place. And that fear that that wisdom is not coming from a good place will make you act from a place of lack. You are so fearful of taking a risk, of living a life, that you think you'll lose something if you actually do that. Be careful around that. Because here's the thing, the Four of Pentacles may, in their miserly energy, in their fear, in their stinginess, they may be able to hold on to what little resources they have, but that's all they're going to do is hold on to the little resources they have. They're not going to grow. They're not going to expand. They're not going to build empire, right? Traditional represent, and I think you can kind of see it in this artwork, how beautiful life is behind him. And he's so busy just holding his coins. But in traditional representations of this card, that's what we see. Somebody literally sitting on their money and clutching their money while people are building life and empire behind them. People are involved in the joy of life and connection and creation behind them. You don't want to get so wrapped up in losing this week that you, A, don't allow yourself to live, but B, you shirk or you ignore or you dismiss wisdom that will help you with expansion, right? This is a week where a lot of us get a lot of clarity on how we want to move forward. I want to go back to this Nine of Swords that fell out, right? That Nine of Swords comes from a lack of direction for some of us. For some of us, this fear that we are grappling with that keeps us up at night is that whatever happened took us out of the plan and the patterns we made. But we, again, through prayer, through fasting, through being the people we're supposed to be, doing good and being good, we are now being given wisdom and direction. We now have clarity on how it is we're supposed to move forward in terms of the building the life we want for ourselves, right? So that takes risks. That takes chances. That takes you doing things differently. That takes you accepting the wisdom of other people, right? So the warning here is don't be so hard-headed. Don't be such a know-it-all. Don't be so suspicious that you cut yourself off from opportunity and you end up not being able to move forward on this blessing of clarity that you've been asking for, right? Some of you all, the reason why you have a struggle with this clarity or the reason why you are in the space of suspicion is because you guys are doing a lot of talking in the spirit and not enough listening, right? I think some of you all, it's easier to pray than it is to meditate, than it is to be still, than it is to actually observe your environment so you can see the signs, right? And that's what temperance is. It's stillness that allows us to be able to observe so that we can take the things that we think don't go together, the things that we think are in competition, are adversarial to one another, and merge them so we can get something new and beautiful. You can't do that if you don't sit down and listen, right? And it's not a coincidence that this Knight of Swords is right, the Knight of Wands, rather, is right over the Temperance card, because there are too many of you guys, hi Zena, there are too many of you guys who are convinced that your spirits are not working with you, that they are not present, that they have somehow forsaken you, when that's not the case. You don't like the answers they're giving you. You don't like, or low key, you don't even know enough to know how they're giving you confirmation, right? You're asking your ancestors why you have financial blockages. And then as soon as you start to pray and ask them that question, you know, your ex from 3 years ago is calling. Did you ever do a cord cutting? Did you ever release that person's energy? That's your answer. You know, you're asking your ancestors why it is that you're in conflict with people that used to be on your side. And then they're showing you that you're not sleeping well. They're telling you that you're not taking good care of your body. You're agitated. That's why you're fighting with people. But you don't want to listen, right? Again, how is your tendency towards being hard-headed putting you in a position where you literally can't even receive wisdom or advice right now? Two of Cups, reciprocity. This is under that Four of Pentacles. So this may be romantic for some people, but for more than that, I think this is about business for a lot of folks. I think there are a lot of people who are tuned in tonight who have been feeling frustrated, like they don't have enough people to collaborate with, like they're not being seen properly in their field. And you've been praying and asking for that. And now you're being given that. But instead of you standing in the trust of that, you have so much suspicion, right? I think about, and I'm just going to use this as an example because Spirit is telling me to. I think about women that I work with who say that they don't have friends or that they, want to expand their female circle. And then Spirit is kind enough. Bonjay is merciful enough, generous enough to put more women, to put more people in their environment. And they are so rooted in their lack that they fall right back to their, I don't trust females. This is why I don't get along with women. What was the point of even praying and calling that in? What was the point of even asking for the spirits to give you community that is going to pour into you and that will work as a mirror, that will be steel sharpening steel with you? What was the point of even asking for that if you are so rooted in your spirit of lack that you're just going to reject it as soon as it's given to you, right? I think that's the message of this week. And that's what a lot of us are grappling with. There's a way that we're being hard-headed, and there's a way that we're letting our deficit mindset put us in a position to where we can't even see the ways that Spirit is opening up space for us to move forward with our goals, with our dreams, with the things we prayed for. And if we don't get out of our own way, we are going to be architects of our own depression. We are going to be the people that really create a dynamic in which we feel isolated, in which we feel stuck, in which we feel like we can't move forward. So, the ancestors are funny. So the message of this week is slow down. Slow down. Slow down, because there are deficits, not necessarily financial, but there are deficits in our life that we've been praying over and praying for. And Spirit has already done its work in terms of creating the environment for us to have more of what we've asked for. Our responsibility is to slow down and to settle down and to be still and to listen so that we can understand the ways in which reciprocity is being brought into our life. Because if we move from our fear and our lack, if we move from our anxiety, if we move from our suspicion, all we're going to do is, I'm going to use this language. My Uncle Wade, I'm going to use it because he's telling me to, I usually don't talk like this. Well, I do talk like this. But we're going to piss away our blessings. And then when we are sitting in that space of stagnation, even though we have nobody to blame but ourselves, we're going to get wrapped up in the temptation of blaming everybody else. My ancestors aren't hearing me right. I must not be sacrificing the way they want me to. It's this generation of men. It's this generation of women. It's all this other shit. When in actuality, if we weren't so hard-headed, if we weren't so dedicated to being right all the time, if we weren't so dedicated to being the know-it-all, and we could exercise a little bit of humility, we would be able to actually take advantage of the blessings that have been given to us. I hope that makes sense. I hope that resonates for whoever needed to hear it. If this message is hitting for you, send Mambo. Thank you, Omo Morare. I appreciate you. Let me see what else people are saying just before I get into the next question or to the next spread. I have offers on the table. on what my next move for working. Awesome, Bertal. I can't wait to hear more about it. I cannot wait to hear more about that. Okay. Let's get into love next. Let's go ahead and get into love next and see what comes up. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits of operation, elevated ancestors. What do we, as a collective, need to know about love and romance and matters of the heart over the next 7 days, over the next week? Please give us insight into the nature of the lessons, blessings, challenges, breakthroughs, experiences we will have as it relates to love and romance. Who do we need to be and what do we need to see about ourselves or have in our environments that will allow us to have the experiences of love and romance we would want to be aligned with an energy of love that is healing and authentic for us. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Cards are jumpy tonight. Cards are really, really jumpy tonight. Eight of Swords and Justice in reverse. Eight of Swords and Justice in reverse. So this is, for whatever reason, as I stated, which cards fell out, the word social media fast came up. Eight of Swords is fears that we project into reality. Justice card is karma. It is a reminder to do good and be good so you can get good out of life. And that when you treat people poorly and when you act like a heathen, guess what? You have the experience of being a heathen, which is imprisonment, which is lack of mobility and movement, which is restrictions around your joy and your freedom, right? The warning here is do not let your fears be the reason that you mistreat people or you act an ass, because you may think that in that moment you getting off, you getting something, but that karma is going to come back to you. I think sometimes, and I've seen this a lot with this younger generation being my generation and younger, where, and I think a lot of it has to do with the dating apps and the social media of it all, where people forget that they're dating human beings. And it's almost like if they have a negative feeling, they have to hurt or flex on the other person so hard, like that person is not loved in the world, and like they don't have a whole life identity and family that they had before they met you, like they don't have ancestors that are watching you treat them fucking poorly. Be careful, because the Eight of Swords here is not just talking about the ways in which you can create your own fear-based reality by moving from fear and projecting your fear onto other people, right? So yeah, if you feel like all these niggas out here that are single or corny, of course you're only gonna attract and go out on dates with corny niggas, right? But even bigger than that, if you feel like I gotta hurt them before they hurt me, or I'm not gonna let them play me before I play them, kind of thing, that also comes back to you. It may not even come back to you through that person, but it will come back to you. So really ask yourself, like, why are you dating? What's the point? If you have so much fear that you don't know how to not hurt the other person, maybe you need to chill for a little bit, right? And I see now why this is coming up. Because realistically, some of you guys are trying to court someone or being courted by somebody. And this person is really demonstrative. They are really loving and sweet. And low key, there's a lot about how they are trying to court you or how they are showing up that feels really, really good. But something in the milk ain't clean. Something don't feel right. You don't really feel connected to it. And here's the thing, you may not want to understand that. It's tempting to always blame other people, but it's you, not them. It's you, not them. It is not them, it's you. And that's not a bad thing, but you have some shadows. You have some things you need to be working on. You have some stuff that is negatively impacting the way you show up in love and romance, right? I think there's a weird thing where we're afraid to choose to be single in adulthood, where we think that taking a break from romance is like weird and that it has to turn into hermitage or solitude, but that's not true. I think that there are a couple of you who are watching this that need to figure out how to be grateful for who you are and what you have instead of using other people as a way to escape. Some of you guys are not dating for the right reasons. I'm just going to say it. That's what Spirit wants you to know. Some of you guys are not dating for the right reasons, and that's a huge part of the reason why it's so easy for you to be so deeply dissatisfied with the quality of suitors you have, right? Because here's the thing about Nine of Cups. It's gratitude and wish fulfillment, yes, but it's you getting to a place of sacrifice through your journey where you learn to be grateful for what you have, right? And the clarifier over this is the Hermit card, because it's simple. If you don't like you, how the fuck are you gonna like other people? How does RuPaul say it? If you don't love you, how you gonna love somebody else? That sounds cliche, but it's really, really real, right? So a lot of you guys are having dissatisfactory experiences of dating and romance, and it's really easy. It's tempting to blame the other people. It's really tempting to blame the dating pool, but baby, it's you. It's you. You don't know how to be grateful for you. You have a dislike of you. And instead of you doing the shadow work to confront that, it's so much easier for you to project that on these poor fools that have the audacity to like your stinking ass. And instead of you being grateful for that, it's easier for you to be mean to them, right? I know I'm not making this up because we have the Lover's card. Gemini, the way that you love other people is a reflection of how you love yourself. Gemini is the twins. Yes, it's the mirror. How are you loving you? And how does that translate into how you love other people? Right? This is coming up this week and at this time for a reason. Hangman. Some of you guys, there's things you do in your relationships and things you do to sabotage that you are unaware of. And Spirit really wants you to take this week to look at yourself. Give yourself permission to have that paradigm shift so that instead of you constantly victimizing yourself through romance, you can see clearly, oh, I should not engage in these behaviors because when I do I get an experience I don't like, right? We end with the Nine of Pentacles. It's no coincidence that the Nine of Pentacles is under the Nine of Cups. Ooh, y'all, some of y'all gonna be mad at me. You cannot be shocked. You have to work on building the life you want for yourself instead of looking for it through your partners, right? Nine of Pentacles is independent wealth, luxury, and abundance. It's somebody who's able to live with ease. They live a beautiful lifestyle. They worked hard to accumulate. They attract wealth very easily, and they live independently. It's no coincidence that the Nine of Pentacles is the precursor to the Ten of Pentacles, which is the card of generational wealth, right? The long and the short of it is, between this Nine of Cups and this Nine of Pentacles, there are way too many of us who are watching this broadcast right now that are not showing up in the world as the proper partner for the kind of person that we claim we want. And because of that, we do one of two things. We either struggle to attract what we want, but that's not what's happening with the majority of you who are watching this. Some of you guys are not having a hard time attracting the type of men you want. You're having a hard time keeping them around because you project a lot of your own frustrations about your lack of stability, your lack of confidence, your lack of solid identity onto your romantic partners, and you use that as an opportunity to beat them up. So Spirit is telling you, get it together, do your shadow work, learn to like you, to really genuinely like you, so that way you're not looking for fault in your partners. You're not picking apart your romantic options as an excuse to not be with someone. I did not expect that to be the nature of the reading, but I'm gonna assume somebody needed to hear that. You know what? I'm not even gonna say the spirit that I was speaking to a lot this week, but they've been cutting up people when it comes to love and the choices they make around love and romance. So I'm not shocked that that was the nature of this message. But it is a lot different in tone than what usually comes up. So that was interesting. Let's look at money. We'll do money and then we'll wrap up for the night. I really don't want to be on here past 9 o'clock tonight. I know I got started late, but I will be back on Thursday. Instead of happy hour Thursday this week, I'm going to be doing an info session with my goddaughter, Monze Grand PA. Just to give you guys a little bit of the background around the Healing Hearts program. That is the forgiveness program that we're going to be doing May 15th through June 14th. So if you can come back on Thursday, 8 p.m. EST, we will have a 1 hour to 1.5 hour class / info session about healing hearts, just so that way if people have questions, if they're still interested in signing up, they'll be able to do so, okay? Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits, walk with me, elevated ancestors. What wisdom does the collective need at this time about money, prosperity, and abundance over the next 7 days? What do we need to consider for the week of May 5th through the 12th as it relates to our relationships with money, with wealth, and with value in our life? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. I'm thinking about bringing back my Tarot Tuesday segment. I don't know. I'm considering it. It didn't go that well the last time I did it. But sometimes I'm tempted to bring it back, just so that way we can talk a little bit more about the astrology of the cards. I do have a lot of classes on the astrology of the cards. But I would love to have those conversations more often publicly. Yes. Card that fell out in the shuffle was the Eight of Swords. Again, some of you guys are not taking risks. Some of us, I will say us that are watching this, are not doing the things we need to do based out of fear. And that fear of movement has brought a lot of restriction to us. Some of you guys are not investing in the stocks. You are not paying for the photo shoot you need to do for your website. Whatever the fuck it is, there's something you need to be doing, and fear is not allowing you to do it. And it's important that you understand that fear-based movement is going to continue to keep you financially restricted, to keep you financially tight. There's some of you all who know damn well that you need to apply for a promotion that you would be perfect for, but you're not doing it because you fear the responsibility that comes with it. You fear the fact that you're going to have to answer to new people. Understand that fear is keeping you restricted. So this week, if you feel financially tight, if you feel frustrated with your situation, you really got to pause and be real with yourself about what fear-based decisions have you made, or honestly avoid making, that have put you in this space of material tightness. Okay? First row. I love this first row. We got the King of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and the King of Wands. Baby, this whole first row is telling you who you need to be in order to change your financial situation. And I love that for us. King of Pentacles. Understand that wealth accumulation is not overnight. The lottery is not going to save you. The government is not going to give you a kickback that saves you. No one is going to save you. You and your long-term vision and your sacrifice and your hard work over time is what is going to save you. King of Pentacles is wealthy, and they are the card of early retirement because they are willing to sacrifice and work hard while they are young, while they are early in the game. This is not somebody who says they want to start a business, puts a link on Instagram, scrolls through Instagram, compares themselves to everybody else, and then gives up 6 months in. This is somebody who is willing to put the work in, right? And in order to be that kind of person, you have to have strategy. You have to have clarity around what you want, and you have to be comfortable with not just having a clear plan, but being able to sit. In the Bay, we say stand 10 toes, right? King of Swords is sitting here. So I'm going to say sit in confidence on your plan without running your mouth all the fucking time. I see this way too often. People will develop a plan, they run around, they talk about it over and over and over again with people. They get that dopamine hit around the affirmation of it, and then they never move forward and do shit. People forget that's part of the reason why the King of Swords is so quiet. Why do you need to know my plan? Why do you need to know what I'm working on? You may get an invite to the launch party. You may get the link to pre-order. But no, until the thing is in fruition, until it's actually taken off, like, I don't need to talk to you about shit. I got my core group of 3 to 4 people that I let get close to me. And then outside of that, there's nothing to talk about it. They're more busy building than they are talking. Now, here's the thing. You have to have confidence in order to make all of this work. Absolutely. But I think people get King of Wands fucked up. When I talk about that part of him that is always enrolling people in their vision, that doesn't mean that he's sharing half-baked ideas, right? That doesn't mean that. Yes, he has to enroll people in his vision. Yes, he has to be confident. Yes, he has to be out there shaking hands and kissing babies, but he's not doing that off of half-cocked ideas. So these 3 kings are the ones that are going to help you break out of your financial restriction. Are you willing to put the work in? We forget Pentacles, yes, it's money, but it's physical energy, it's the body. What are you doing with your body? Are you taking good care of your body, first and foremost? Because that's all. I mean, it doesn't matter if you win the lottery tomorrow. If you have a heart attack and die, you're not going to be here to get the work done. But in addition to that, are you willing to put in the labor? Are you willing to do the work? That's one of the things that really sucks about the internet. Everybody will watch you and get envious and be a fucking weirdo and then want to be you, but then they don't want to see all the work you put into getting there. King of Pentacles is not afraid of that work. They're also, with the King of Swords, he's not afraid of shutting the fuck up and refining his plan. Some of y'all talk too much. King of Wands. Are you going to believe in yourself so much that whether or not you get external validation, you still go after what you want because you believe that you are deserving? King of Wands is the king of worthiness. You can't tell a King of Wands they don't deserve shit. That is how you get out of your financial situation. Work hard. Have a plan that you are willing to keep your mouth shut about. And be so locked in and so dedicated to your upward movement that you don't really care what other people have to say. There's financial decisions and moves that I've made and sacrifices I've made in my life that people talk shit about to this day. If I have one more person get in my face about the fact that I don't have a car while they going into debt paying $500, $600, $700 fucking car payments every month, that's money I can pour into my business. I don't need a fucking car. If I were a weak bitch and I cared about other people's opinions, I would be out here keeping up with the Joneses and signing up for some shit that I didn't need just to impress other people. That's not a King of Wands make. It's really not. So you hit your goals, you meet your targets, and you honestly get admiration from other people by being clear on who you are, putting your head down, working hard, developing your plan, and standing 10 toes in the plan. It's not through the other things. So if you want success, Six of Wands is success. And it's not just success that you experience, it's success that other people witness. Keep your head down, work hard, mind your business, and believe in yourself. It's the only thing that will keep you from being successful is getting so wrapped up in the opinions and the habits of other people, being so wrapped up in your environment that the next thing you do, you look up and you're poor. Five of Pentacles always, I think that's such an important aspect of the Five of Pentacles that people forget. Five of Pentacles never is alone. There's always somebody next to them. There's always somebody next to them. Five of Pentacles is about your environment. Why are you surrounded by people who are going to speak doubt into you? Why are you surrounded by people who are trying to talk you out of doing less and not working as hard? Why are you surrounded by people that you don't even feel, you shouldn't be talking about your plans, but you don't even feel safe to talk about your plans around these people? Can you really be shocked that you looked up and you're poor and you don't have what you want and you haven't moved forward? So if what you really want is success, really think about how your environment is negatively impacting that. Are the people that you're telling your plans to always telling you that they're fucked up and trying to talk you out of going after it? I see now. If so, I see now why this King of Swords is here. Are all your friends people who tell you you shouldn't be working hard, or you shouldn't be sacrificing, or you shouldn't be coming up with new products, you shouldn't be coming up with new avenues, you shouldn't be applying for new positions? Okay, well then now I understand why the King of Pentacles is here. You not gonna get rich being a lazy bitch. You're not. Are the people around you always trying to fuck with your self-esteem and bring you down to size? Okay, I see why this King of Wands here. If so, clean fucking house. Don't be so desperate for friendship and attention that you let it make you poor. In between payments and insurance, baby, just keep doing what you're doing. You ain't got to tell me twice on Memorial. I don't want no fucking car. I do not want a fucking car. I'm good. I don't need it. I'm fine. I don't need nothing else put racking up debt around me. And the reason, and this is not a personal reading, but it's funny that I'm saying this because of this next card. Eight of Wands. Some of you guys are so worried about that spirit of comparison that you can't even move freely. Eight of Wands, freedom to move, quick change, forward movement, riding the wave. Opportunities are about to pick up for you. They just are. And you need to be so driven and so focused and so, you have to be such in a place where you can stand on your square and not be wrapped up in other people, that when these opportunities come around, you can just pick up and go. You can just go after them the way you want to. But there are a lot of you guys that can't do that because you're so busy worried about everybody else and what they have to say and whether or not you can make yourself small enough to appease them. Some of you guys, you're making yourself so small in order to be around people that it's making you broke. Be careful about that shit. We end with the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Swords is under the King of Wands. This is coming up because some of us, and some of the people that are doing it, are pretending to love you. Okay? They're pretending to love you. Seven of Swords is the Thief card. There are people that are going to try to tell you that they're giving you advice to make you feel better, or because they care about you and they want you to be better. But really all they're trying to do is cut you down to size. They're trying to cut you down to size. This is why being able to stand on your own financially is so important. Okay? And I'm not just talking about, notice that all this is about the energy you need to be in. Even though this is a financial reading, it's all about the energy you need to be in. I have had people in my life give me bad advice on purpose and then sit on the phone with people and laugh and giggle about how things got fucked up for me based off of the bad advice. That is not something that is particular to Larissa. There are way too many of us who can find ourselves in a situation like that. So the Seven of Swords is coming up to let you know, pay attention. Pay attention. Because the things in your life that you may not even be stunting over or tripping off of, somebody else is stunting off of it hella hard. And they will tell you, don't go after that thing, don't do that thing. I remember last year when I started doing in-person healing work. I'm not even going to bring up the name. Somebody told me not to do it. They said that it wasn't a worthy investment, that doesn't make any sense. And then within that same phone call and conversation, they couldn't even get off the phone. They couldn't even wait for a new conversation. Within that same conversation, they were like, yeah, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to charge this much. Right? So you're telling me that this is a shitty idea, that it's not going to work out for me, but somehow it's going to work out for you. And not only is it going to work out for you, but you deserve more than what you got to pay attention. Because here's the thing. Those thieves, they're not slick. They believe that they're slick, but they're not. They're dropping your swords. They're out in front of people. They don't have no finesse. The only time we miss the thief, the Seven of Swords energy, is because we don't want to see it. We don't want to believe it. So when it comes to your finances this week, understand that everybody who is rich, unless they were born into their wealth, we're not talking about those people. Most people that accumulate wealth in their lifetime do so through hard work and sacrifice. They do so through having plans that they've developed that are very clear, very sharp, that they don't share with everybody. And they do so by believing in themselves, even when the people around them are trying to tell them that they should not be doing something. Okay? If you can do that and you can be dedicated to your plans, even when the people around you who don't want to see you have shit are telling you need to go out and you need to buy this and you need to not only will you be in a space of clarity and peace around your decisions, not only will it protect you from the thieves who are trying to throw you off of your square, but it will have your load and your burdens clear so that when things pick up for you, you are not burdened, you are not in debt, you are not pulled down, and you can move with ease into the opportunities that you've been praying for. All right, that is the weekly reading. If anybody has questions that they want me to answer, go ahead and type them out in the comments. As you're typing out your comments, I will let you guys know about the things I'm working on currently. Charm School interviews are open again. So if you've been thinking about joining me for Charm School, join the intake group below. I know that the link from last week was broken or messed up or something, so I apologize for that. I did replace it with the new link today. So hopefully the link in the comments is working. But Charm School is my mentorship program. It's about 4 years old at this point. That's crazy to say aloud. And it's a bomb ass program. We learn what it means to be a priestess in terms of lifestyle. We learn what it means to heal ourselves through herbalism, through magic, through divination, through spiritual development, through energy healing, through a lot of modalities. And not only do we learn to heal ourselves, we learn to turn that into gifts and wisdom that we can turn around and give to the community. So for example, this Healing Hearts program that I'm doing with my goddaughter, Monzie Grandpier, it is a gift to the world or to the collective that literally comes out of her own knowledge and her own experience as a priestess and as a marriage and family therapist, right? I love my program. I love my girls in my program. If you want to join us, consider just join the link. You'll learn about the interview process, what it is we do, the cost, because you do have to pay membership dues, and the expectations of being in the program. I have been thinking about bringing back, because that's my coven. Charm School is my coven. I have Charm School's my hoodoo coven, Vision of Dawn Tour is my voodoo coven. And I know that there are people that want to learn spirituality but don't have the capacity to commit to coven. Totally understand. I'm thinking about what am I trying to say? Rebirthing is not, reawakening is not. Reestablishing one of my old mentorship programs called Study Hall, where you pay a fee every month and I just send you classes and exercises. If that is something that you guys are interested in, especially those of you guys who want to do some spiritual healing work but don't have the bandwidth to commit to Coven, let me know by hitting the scales in the comments. Even in the replay, let me know. And that'll be something that I'll consider relaunching in the summer. I've been thinking about it because I have people that are really interested in charm school, but it's just clear to me that they don't have the bandwidth of what I expect as one of those students. So let me know. Taurus season sale is still going if you want to book a private reading with me, or if you want to purchase any of my classes. Consider using the sale as an opportunity to do that. If you use the code Taurus, Taurus at checkout, you get 25% off. So that sale is going for at least another 2 weeks. What else? Healing Hearts, the sale, Charm School. I'm gonna leave it at that for now because that's all I'm remembering. Oh, my group, Sacred Roots. I do have a Vodou and Hoodoo healing group on Facebook. Things are slow right now, but we're picking the group back up, and I will be doing live streams that are exclusive to the group starting next week. So if you are not already a part of my Facebook group, the link to that is in the comments as well, okay? Let's see. I'm going to do, so it's almost 9. I'm going to do about 4 questions tonight because I'm supposed to meet up with my vampire group. Let me explain. My interview with the vampire. I'm a part of a group on Facebook for Black girls who love vampire lore. Let me explain. I am not personally a vampire. I think I made y'all think that one time. But my vampire group meets in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to try to do like 4 questions tonight. Should I be 100% with my spiritual practice and development, or do I need to hold on to this job a little bit longer? I got you, Omaware. Actually, let me switch decks for this one. Y'all, I want to do a Sinners Tarot deck so bad. I want to do a Sinners themed tarot deck so bad. I just have no idea who I would need to talk to so that I don't get sued within an inch of my life. So if any of y'all know, because I have 2 artists. Lord God, when the Bay Area come out, I don't know. I have 2 artist friends back home that would be perfect for me to collaborate with, but I don't want Warner Brothers or Ryan Coogler to sue me. I love Ryan Coogler. That's my cousin in my head, so if he sued me, that would hurt my heart. Does Tana need to go 100% with her spiritual practice, or should she keep her job longer? If longer, how long? What wisdom does she need around this decision? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. There we go. I'll do it that way so I can still keep up with the comments. Just make it exclusive to me. So like a Sinners deck that only I use. That's a strategy. I could do that. Do it before someone hops on that. That deck would be dope. So I accidentally pulled 6 cards for you on Momoware. You need to do this, not right now. I would say give yourself 9 months, write out a plan, and tell yourself that in 9 months, here's the thing, you can make enough money to replace your income in the next 3 months if you hunker down. But in terms of you getting to a place where you have enough money stored and saved away, 9 months is a little bit more. Why is the word meaty? I know that's not. It's a little bit more substantial. That's the right word. It's obvious that your heart is in the spiritual work, right? Not only does it allow you to heal other people, but it really, really heals you. You really want to be somewhere where you are dedicated to doing your heart's work full time. And that's really, really clear with the Ace of Cups, right? Queen of Pentacles, you can be very wealthy off of it. There's a lot about your energy that is deeply authentic in this line of work that people are very attracted to, right? And what do I always say about the Queen of Pentacles? She's just not queen of money. She's the queen of favor. So you will be highly favored in this work. But you are being warned about leaping too fast with the Three of Swords, right? Heartbreak meant for maturation. So if you quit too early, will you be okay? Like, will you survive? Yeah, but there's like avoidable heartbreak in leaving your employment too fast that your spirits are like advising you against. Also, again, within that time, you do need to be developing a plan, right? Knight of Pentacles, refinement of a plan, savings, really paying attention to fine details, crossing T's, dotting I's kind of thing. So giving yourself the cushion of time to really be able to set that up for yourself. If you do it that way, you'll be hella grateful, right? Nine of Pentacles. You will be able to transition into full-time entrepreneurship in a way that is very easy and that allows you a lot of financial freedom. And then we end with the Two of Cups, which is reciprocity, right? So there are people that want to collaborate with you, and you using those collaborations strategically within that 9-month period also sets you up to have a lot more freedom and comfort. So short answer, your spirits want this to be something that you do. They just really would like to see you slow down and develop a plan so that way you can avoid some of the bumps that people typically experience when they make the leap too quickly. I hope that makes sense. Precision, yes, yes. Absolutely. I'm going to see Sinners for the 3rd time tomorrow. I'm going to see it for the 3rd time tomorrow. And I told myself, I'm not going to be one of those people that see this movie 10,000 times. And I said that. And then when I went to see it the 2nd time, so there was some sort of glitch or some shit with the screen, and they gave me a free ticket. So I was like, okay, well, if you're forcing me to watch it a 3rd time. So yeah, I'm gonna go back tomorrow and use my free ticket. Let's see. Who else is next? Is my relationship with my Uncle Jerome over? I don't trust him and feel he has motives. I got you, Org Mommy, or Diva Mommy. Let's see. Good. I'm glad that resonated with you on Momoware. I'm glad to hear that. And I can't wait to see what kind of badassery you unleash on us once you do this full time. This is going to be so, and you know, I'm all about Black women returning to full time, and not to go on a Sinners tirade, but that was one of the awesome things about watching Annie. I know that people who are not familiar with that time frame and that history can look from the outside in and be like, well, she was a man. First of all, racism. But second of all, like, in that environment, Annie was that fucking girl. Annie had her own business. Annie had her own house. People sought after. She was highly sought after for her wisdom, right? She made decent money. Yeah, it was just the plantation shit. But in that environment, Annie was that girl. And I think that there's a lot about the freedom of entrepreneurship that people don't think about. I think within this Instagram social media world, people think that if you're not making $700,000 or $1 million a year, there's no point in going to entrepreneurship. But think about how many of y'all niggas that are working yourselves into stress and early death for $45,000 a year, right? That's just my tirade. I will shut up and I will answer or Diva Mommy's question. Is my relationship with my Uncle Jerome over? Ancestors, angels, and masters, spirits walk with me. What does or Diva Mommy need to know about her relationship with her Uncle Jerome? What wisdom does she need about her relationship with Uncle Jerome? Is this a relationship that is over? If so, why? If not, why not? Any of this was shared is deeply appreciated. It was her own shit. What understood don't have to be explained. Thank you, Bertal. Thank you so much. You guys have been watching these for a while. You know my story. For those of you who don't know my story, I was in academia before I quit and then worked for a very, very brief period of time in crisis services and then became a full-time priestess. I cannot tell you how many people I have crossed paths with from my old life in academia who look down their nose at me and what I do, and I make more than them. And I usually don't like to even bring up that part because it's not important. The thing that's important is that I get to live a life of authenticity. But people be looking down on folks in their profession when there's nothing to look down on. Okay, or Diva Mommy, I'm gonna say something and it's gonna feel really harsh. And you guys gotta remember, sometimes the wisdom of the ancestors is harsh. They don't care about our isms and our feel. You know what I mean? Like, whew. Your uncle is a grown ass man. And so whatever he did that has led to the difficulty of you guys' relationship, it's his responsibility to learn and mature through and get better about, right? The more that you literally gaslight yourself into believing that this is the most important and prominent thing in your life, the more you lose out on in terms of opportunity, your own passions, your own drive, etc. Right? You are kind of mulling over this again and again, and you're letting it replay in your head and in your heart, and that's not very, very helpful for you. Okay? Your spirits would really, really love to see you be focused on your own future, the seeds you need to plant so that you can have bounty in the future, right? The more that you hyperfixate on this situation, the more that you convince yourself that this is worse than what it is, and the harder it becomes for you, Nine of Cups in reverse, to focus on the actual blessings that you have, okay? So it's almost like, and this is going to sound harsh, it's almost like your ancestors don't fucking care about whatever this conflict is between you and your Uncle Jerome, because they would rather you focus on yourself and your life and the building of joy. Because whatever happened in this situation, he knows what he did, and he has to make a decision as a grown man to make better decisions. That's not something that you can be responsible for. And the more that you try to convince yourself that you're responsible for it, the more you take focus off of yourself and your own life. I hope that made sense. I hope that resonated with you. Please, or Diva Mommy, let me know. Let's see. I'll do 2 more questions. I'm already late, but I'll do 2 more questions before I get out of here. Zena said, I cut off SB and met E at an event. I'm just looking for fun. Is he someone good for me as far as that? Let's see. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits to walk with me. Again, these readings are not, they're free. But if you guys enjoy the live stream and you want to show your appreciation, My Cash App and my PayPal are scrolling below so that you can send a love offering. They're not a necessity. You guys know I would always rather you guys book a full reading with me instead. Ancestors, angels, and masters, spirits walk with me. What wisdom does Zena need about E? Is E a good person to have in her life at this time? Will he be able to be someone that she can have fun with, that she can have peace with and around? Is there anything she needs to know in terms of warnings about E at this time? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. So, yes, for a certain amount of time, you're going to get sick of him very quickly. And I felt that when the Four of Cups fell out, because Four of Cups is the card of hangover, right? And what typically happens when we have a hangover? While we're drinking, shit is fun. We're not tripping, like it's lit. And then once we've consumed too much and the body can't handle it, we feel sick and woozy, right? So yes, he's here for fun. He's gonna spoil you. Self-care and nurturing and taking care of the women that he's attracted to is something that's really important to him, right? He likes to be a place of rest and peace for the women that he's with. He also really loves to show off and have a good time. The world card is the world being at your feet, him really wanting to show you the world kind of thing. But then we end with the Five of Cups, which is the ick, the card of depression, literally, of being sick of a person, right? Five of Cups romantically means you've gotten to a point where you're sick of somebody. So I see this, yes, it's going to be fun, but it's going to fizzle out fast. But again, if you aren't looking for like marriage and commitment, then that's not a bad thing. So short answer, yes, he'll be fun for a little bit, but it's not going to last very long. Let's see. Let's do one more. We'll wrap up with Dulcinia's question. What would my spirit guides and ancestors like me to focus on in the next week? Okay, I got you. And I think that was everybody. Okay, I'll do Dulcinia. I said I was going to finish after. I'll do Dulcinia. I'll wrap up with Josette, and then after that, we'll be out of here. Okay. Ancestors, angels, and masters, spirits to walk with me. What does Dulcinia need to know at this time? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. And for those of you guys, like seriously, I keep telling you, I'm trying to build my channel. So if you ever watch and you're like, damn, I really can't send a love offering right now, because I know life is life. Everybody ain't got it. Share my channel. If you're not subscribed to my channel, but you watch all the time, first of all, what the fuck are you doing? Subscribe to my channel, like the video, but also share this video far and wide. Like the more views we have, the more the merrier, the better it is for me. So that's the way you can give a love offering without having any money, You got to work on your stress, baby. You got to work on your stress. You have accomplished something recently that was really good for you. And it's almost like you haven't even been able to really enjoy it because you're worried. You're worried about either the way it happened, or you're worried about something from the past, or you think something from the past is going to happen again. You got to be really, really careful about that. Not only because it's not good to be hyperfixated on the past, but you are in a position where so much can really set you up for a great future. But if you have a negative understanding of where you are, you're not going to go after it, right? So they really want to see you work on your perspective. Nine of Cups in reverse, you think things are worse off than what they are. And that's a perspective you got to work on, right? So they would really, really like to see you work on getting to a space of peace this week where you're not overthinking and not hyper scrutinizing yourself in your recent past. Your things are better for you than I think you fully understand that they are. And so I think that perspective as it relates to where you presently are, how far you've come, and just how to tap into gratitude overall is what they would like to see you work on. Okay? Josette wanted to know, I feel like things are not working out for me. Is there something I can do to escalate getting back on my feet? You're very welcome, Dulcinea. Also, we got to schedule your egg cleansing. I didn't reach out yesterday because I'm really trying to have better boundaries and get to the point where I don't allow myself to work on Saturdays, which is a struggle for me because my moon is in Virgo. But I did see that you booked or that you purchased an egg cleansing. So you and I need to talk after this so we can get you on my calendar, okay? Your schedule's flexible. Perfect. All right. So I'll reach out to you with some suggested times. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits walk with me, my elevated ancestors. What wisdom does Josette need at this time about how to get back on her feet? What wisdom will allow her to be able to navigate the difficulties that she's going through at this time? What can you tell us about any blockages that she is going through that may be prolonging her difficulty? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. So now remember what I forgot to advertise earlier. So the Patreon class I was supposed to do in April is actually going to be happening this Tuesday, May 6th. So we will be talking about the difference between emotional intelligence and emotional maturity. And that is in the realm of self-development, but it's actually very spiritual as well. I think sometimes we allow people in our lives that do a lot of damage and cause soul tears because of their lack of emotional maturity. We often say we want partners that are emotionally intelligent, but some of the most emotionally intelligent people can do manipulative, play a lot of mind games and can really fuck you up, right? So I'm going to be talking about the difference between emotional intelligence and emotional maturity, why emotional maturity will bring you to a space of spiritual alignment where emotional intelligence does not guarantee that, and also just some spiritual exercises you can do to make sure that you are at the space of emotional maturation that you need to be. That will be this Tuesday on Patreon. All paid members have access to that live stream for the class that takes place at 8 p.m. EST. All paid members will also be getting the replay after the class is over. I have tiers as low as $5. If y'all niggas can't spend $5 a month on classes, you're fucking lying. You got $5 and change in your couch. Spirit, clarify this Seven of Swords. Who is the Seven of Swords in this environment? What does she need to know about the Seven of Swords? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Or Diva Mommy, my moon is in Virgo too. You know what's crazy? I was having this conversation with somebody earlier. Like, I don't know why, but like mad of the people in my life, like clients, friends, even a couple of my siblings have Virgo placements. And I don't know why. I just attract a lot of Virgo energy into my life. Let's see. So, Josette, you are going to have to do some spiritual work around this matter. You're going to have to do some spiritual work. I'm not trying to make you nervous. You have some, and I don't think that these people are like directly putting juju on you, but you do have some people around you that are not wishing the best about you. People hex, and whether they overtly hex, like sitting around with a lock of your hair and a black candle and doing weird shit, or whether it's every time you talk about something positive, they are internally talking shit like this bitch don't da. That's hexing, right? You have some people around you who don't mean the best for you. And so you need to do spiritual work over yourself. You need to up your protection magic. Specifically, and I'm gonna get into the cards in a minute. Specifically, there's somebody who speaks a lot of deficit over your life that brings a lot of confusion. Until you can fully remove that person, you need to do work to make sure that the things that they say don't penetrate your thoughts, right? But yeah, First card is the Magician. So you're having a hard time getting your grounding, getting aligned because there's a lack of vision around what alignment even looks like for you, right? And you may be convinced that you know, but you don't. And a lot of this comes from the fact that you have people around you who are they're gaslighting you, right? There's a lot of confusion. It's causing you to lose the small battles around you because you're being given bad advice. You're being given bad perspective. There's way too much negativity around you, right? This is further confirmed by the Seven of Swords, which is both the person or the people who are trying to steal your peace, but also you losing your own peace by losing faith in yourself. Because Seven of Swords can also be about a self-sabotage. And I think that even as I'm talking right now, you already know who these people are that I'm referencing. But instead of you putting distance between you and them, and even if you can't put physical distance, just deprioritizing their opinions, right? Why do you need their external validation? Instead of doing that, you lean further into it. So there are some habits you engage in that need to be released so that you can get out of this nightmare. But the long and short of it is that you need to work yourself. You need to up your protection game. I don't know when the last time you've cleansed or fed or was. So that's another thing you need to work on. But a lot of what's going on with you right now in terms of disruptive energy and a lack of progress has to do with your environment. And so until you, and here's the thing, I know sometimes we are living in spaces where we can't just pick up and leave our environment. I'm not delusional, right? But until you can do that, you really got to work yourself. And you got to work yourself so that you are in such a space of elevation and forward movement that it doesn't even matter what's going on around you. Message me, Josette, if we need to figure out what that looks like for you. I'm happy. Okay. Bertal says maybe make Tarot Tuesday part of your Patreon. I'm sick of this shit online. People doing work with no divinations, $5 in a small investment of knowledge. People are cheap. People are cheap, and people don't want to pay for, like, that's one of the worst things that the Christian church has done. The Western understandings of Christianity and spirituality have done to us is that we feel like we don't have to make any investment. That come as you are bullshit makes people think that they can just show up and that people got to pour everything into them. There are literally two men right now. One of them got mad and left my Facebook group. There are two men right now that are mad at me in my DMs because they just strolled they black asses into my private messages asking for dream interpretations. And when I said, no, you got to book with me, they got attitude about it. I think that, we already know that men participate in hoodoo and that there are hoodoo fathers and, but because the face of hoodoo is predominantly female and we live in a world where people are fine with extracting the labor of women, particularly Black women, people don't want to pay for shit. I talk about this all the time. I'm a whole fucking trained priestess and people will haggle me down over readings. I know white and Daisy practitioners, you can't even get on their calendar for less than $300. But people don't want to sign up for a $5 Patreon so that they can get classes to learn how to do these things for themselves. That's why I don't harp on it. I just really, really focus on the people that rock with me and ride with me and who don't nickel and dime me, right? And I'm grateful that I have enough people who are willing to pay for my wisdom and to pay for my training and to pay for my classes to where I don't have to get upset over the people who don't want to pay, right? Again, I say all the time, if my name were Haley and I did not address social issues on my channel, I would probably have 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 50,000 followers. I'm not unaware of how people behave and how that shows up and how they treat spiritualists. I say all that to say I am thankful for those of you who don't who don't play in my face about paying for things and here's the other thing, when you work with me for a while, I be doing shit for you for free. I have people that I'm helping construct spell work and shit. I'm teaching them how to do it so that I don't do the work, right? I be giving people game for free all the time. I'm not stingy. If you know me and you actually work with me, you know that. But no, you don't get to be a stranger that barrels into my private messages and sends me 5 paragraphs about a dream and tells me to interpret it. Who the fuck are you? Who are you? On that note, love you all. Love you all. This felt good. This felt really, really good. So I hope that this was a good live for all of you who've tuned in. Please come back Thursday so that you can see me and Grand PA do the Q&A about healing hearts and talk about the necessity of forgiveness in your spiritual journey. There are so many of you guys who are creating blockages for yourselves by being hateful and petty. And I'm saying that as somebody with a Virgo moon. I love petty. Like, I love making fun of people. But if it's costing you spiritually, what the fuck is the point, right? So I think Healing Hearts is going to be a really transformational program. I encourage you guys to all come back at 8. I'm sorry, not at 8. On Thursday at 8 to learn about it. And until then, I want you guys to take care of yourselves. Good night. Bye.